Who's been messing up everything? It was Agatha all along. Wrong. It was Wanda. Kronk, pull the lever! Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy, Justin Juju Jackson, and welcome back to another review, a Marvel review, and for the spoiler review of the witchy follow-up to WandaVision Agatha All Along. I want to first start off this spoiler review, by saying that I am just impressed with this show that Marvel has put out. And I feel myself saying that about a lot of things that Marvel puts out. But I just think that the acting, the writing, the production, the storytelling, all of it was in sync. It was all high quality, and it all snapped and fell into place. And people, if you haven't seen this show, make sure you go watch the first 2 episodes before this review, because this is a spoiler review, and I will be getting into the nitty-gritty details of all of what this show has to offer. But before I get into the spoiler review, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, as that helps my channel grow. And of course, without further ado, let's get into the review right now. All right, people, so Agatha All Along premiered yesterday, September 19th, and dropped the first 2 episodes. And guys, like I said earlier in the video, you will be blown away by the quality and the storytelling of this project. And before I get any further, I must give my roses and hands out to Kathryn Hahn, because she was playing a role within a role, and she was killing it, just murdering it. I feel like if I saw I love Kathryn Hahn anyway, but now that I've seen her as Agatha Harkness, as a police detective, give me a Kathryn Hahn True Detective series right now, especially being a detective from the Midwest or Pennsylvania. She killed this. She killed this role, and she continues to show why she's a worthy addition to the Marvel universe. But anyway, getting into episode 1. Episode 1 is titled Witch on the Run, and it opens up with a very mysterious murder scene, or we think it's a murder. And we have Agatha Harkness, aka Agnes, as a police chief. And basically what Agatha is, it looks like Agatha is still under Wanda's spell. But Agatha pulls up to the scene, and we see a body. It's a woman's body, and she's got the black fingers. If you don't know the significance of the black fingers, that's basically a marker of a witch, of a powerful witch at that. And so we can only suspect that it's another witch, but my spidey senses were tingling. And to be honest, I knew who it was from jump. I knew it was Wanda. I didn't want to believe it was Wanda, because I wanted to believe that she somehow survived in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But it was Wanda, or tricks were being played to make us think that it was Wanda. But either way, that body was there, and they never showed the face. They only showed the fingertips, for a reveal later down the line that it was, in fact, Wanda Maximoff. Also, the woman, we know it's Wanda at this point. She had a copy of the Darkhold, and she stole it 3 years ago from the Westview Library. Makes sense? It's making sense. It's clicking. And so basically, Agatha is a detective. She's trying to solve this case. As she's putting things together, when memories and feelings from her prior life as a masterclass witch start slowly coming back to her. We see Aubrey Plaza debut in the series, and I love Aubrey. She is just a class act and generational talent, and I love her role in this. I actually do not know what character she's playing at this moment. I kind of want to let it be a reveal. They didn't reveal the name of the character in the show, so I'm not going to look it up. I don't want to. I want it to be revealed to me. And so Aubrey Plaza's character comes in, and she basically helps Agatha shed this the spell, the lingering effects of Wanda's spell on her, and it just triggers like this slow burn. And there's this scene in it where Agatha is basically shedding the spell, and she's going back and going through all of the things, and there's callbacks to WandaVision with the different generational costumes, and boom, Agatha Harkness is back, and my favorite role Catherine Hahn has done yet is also back. And the plot, it just thickens as the episode goes on. And after that point in the reveal, we have the reveal of who we suspect to be Billy Maximoff, and but in the show he's just named Teen. And whenever Agatha tries to ask his name, it's got Mike. You can't really hear his name. She can't hear his name or anything about his upbringing, so she just calls him funky names the whole time. It's hilarious. But once Agatha, I mean, she was Agnes in the show, but she's actually Agatha. Once Agatha comes to, she realizes that people are coming for her. And the first person to come for her was Aubrey Plaza's character. Don't know the name. Don't shoot me. Don't know her name, actually. For the service of this show, I am going to look up her character right now. Oh, she's playing Rio Vidal. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So she's Rio Vidal. Rio Vidal is like an arch nemesis to Agatha, hates her guts, blase, blase. But Rio has no fun fighting the depowered Agatha Harkness. If you remember in WandaVision, Wanda took her magic. And witches can only take each other's magic if they blast each other with it. So what Agatha needs to get her power back, she needs to walk the witch's road, which is definitely an interesting concept in and of itself. But not only does Agatha need to walk the witch's road, so does her coven. And Billy Maximoff needs to walk the witch's road as well, because he is just no more than just an amateur of witchcraft at this point in the series. And so he wants to walk the witch's road with Agatha so he can obtain power. So as we move into episode 2, we kind of see Agatha kind of come to the realization she has no power. She needs to get power because people are coming for her. Not only are people coming for her, it is the I can't remember the there were like 7 witches who are in the comics. They are the children, they're the grandchildren of Agatha, and they are the children of her son, Nicholas Scratch. You see in the first episode, she goes into a bedroom and it has trophies and stuff with Nicholas Scratch on it because that's Agatha's son. But the witches that were coming after her, the 7, I'm just going to call them the 7 for the purpose of this because I can't find their name right now, are coming for Agatha. And they're supposed to be like these crazy powerful witches. Agatha has done the wrong. Who hasn't Agatha done wrong at this point, right? That Agatha has done wrong. And so to walk the witch's road, Agatha needs a coven. And so she sets out in the second episode to find her coven, which are all conveniently within a 3-mile radius of her, which makes that part of the show move at a satisfying pace. I did not want the finding of her coven to take more than 30 minutes because, quite frankly, we have more to get into with this series. And so she finds her coven. Each one is a down and out witch reject who has lost their power, and they each are trying to find something within it, except Mrs. Hart. Mrs. Hart, she's just there along for the ride. If you don't remember Mrs. Hart was in WandaVision as well as one of the unsuspecting neighbors. She was one of the first characters we saw in WandaVision, and she's back, and she is still Agatha's neighbor. Mrs. Hart, she was probably a highlight for me in this show. I thought she was hilariously funny. Also, Shasir Zamata, who plays Jennifer Kale, who is like, the apothecary witch. Patti LuPone, I thought she was great in her role as Lilia. And I think she's definitely going to be one of the more interesting characters as well, because she is the first witch that is recruited into Agatha's coven. Also, highlight of just the whole thing, when they were chanting the Witch's Road. To get to the Witch's Road, they had to sing this ballad, this hymn called the Witch's Road. And let me tell you, Patti LuPone, she was holding her notes. If y'all don't know who Patti LuPone is a mainstay on Broadway, and she's known for her unique singing voice, but she's still a Broadway legend. And so she was definitely holding down those notes. Mrs. Hart, like I mentioned earlier, funny, unsuspecting. She just rocks with it. I think she needed the coven. Let's just be honest. She just needed the coven, and I thought it was hilarious when they were like, "Oh, we need an earth magic witch," and they were like, "Where's the last witch?" And it was just a heart. Agatha knew who it was. Agatha was like, "Man, there's no way. Like, this kook is gonna be in my coven," but she needed her. So, hey, I'd say the last 10 minutes of episode 2 is probably like the best of the series so far. With them chanting the Witch's Road. I think Catherine Hahn was funny in that last bit. She said, "Just blast me, bitches," and that was hilarious. I was not expecting that, especially in this project, but I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and it fits the tone. It's not like it's coming out of nowhere for it. It fits the project, it fits the tone, and I was rocking with it. And when they were doing the, what do you call it? When they were chanting the Witch's Road, and then the 7 witches were coming after Agatha, and it was this whole crazy, like almost horror inspired procession of her, like of them slowly going up to their house and breaking in, and Billy, aka Teen, is trying to board up the house. And I thought that was great use of a climax in episode 2, and definitely was something that was entertaining to watch and push the narrative forward. And it makes me excited to see what they're going to do next week. I really do wish these episodes were an hour long. I think they deserve to be an hour long. Like 30 something minutes just does not eat. But basically, these shows are not really episodic in nature. They're more like broken up movies. This one felt more episodic than anything that Marvel has put out TV show wise. And let's just say those first 2 episodes stuck the landing. They stuck the landing, guys. My bad. These episodes stuck the landing. I'm excited to see what they do next week. And, hey, I love it so far. It's got a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know how it's not higher. We all know why it's not higher. Marvel projects with women, centered around women, tend to receive that type of backlash, especially with how the Acolyte was treated. And so this is not being treated as badly as the Acolyte, thank God. And so I think it will continue to blow away people's expectations. And I think Marvel is locked in, and they want to not only put out quality content, but that they have some work to do to earn back the trust of a lot of fans. They were off to a good note with Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think they'll continue to do this with Agatha all along. They never lost my trust. I was always locked in with Kevin Feige because I understand where Marvel has been and where we're going. If you don't understand where we have been as Marvel fans, then you don't know. You don't know about the circumstances and the times we're living in. And so, with that being said, this has been another Juju Writes review. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, as that helps my channel grow. And of course, like always, keep it locked.